What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a good one for you because I rarely play RPGs and actually enjoy them, but this one kept my interest through the entire playthrough, and no, it's not for the reason you're thinking of. And so with that, let's get straight into the video. So Stellar Blade is an open world RPG where you level up your character in order to defeat stronger and stronger mobs and bosses. It sounds familiar, right? Well, of course, this is a tried and true recipe for a game of this type, so what makes this any different from other titles in the same genre? Let's start with the backstory. The game itself is originally a PlayStation exclusive that was brought over to Steam last July. Warning, spoilers ahead. It centers around Eve, an advanced andro-Edeos from the 7th Airborne Squad, whose sole purpose is to wipe out the Natiba, a race of altered humans gone wrong through forced evolution. The current humans and other warriors made of andro-Edeos believe the Natiba to be a race of aliens bent on the destruction of the planet. The game opens up with awesome cinematics and immediately sets the tone by completely wiping out nearly the entire 7th Airborne Squad, but not before you're rescued from your drop pod after miraculously surviving in, quite the opening cutscene. The few remaining survivors are also killed off within the opening battle. After failing your first boss fight, you're rescued by this guy.
It's where the Alpha and AT-BA is.
We're meeting G over there.
One of the last surviving humans left on planet Earth. And as the cutscenes progress forward, you learn that he's actually part of a colony of survivors.
It's huge!
The game has a robust questline that will offer hours of playtime, and on top of that, there's countless side missions, a mission board in the city, collectables, a boss fight mode, and much more. You'll definitely get your money out of this game, and if those aren't enough, once you beat the main questline, you unlock New Game Plus, and if somehow that's still not enough for you, and you manage to do it again, there's New Game Plus Plus. Now, being that it was a PlayStation title, you can definitely feel that it was made for controller, and it does support that on Steam. However, I'm very stubborn and I played on mouse and keyboard, and I'm not taking any points off for how clunky some of the movement felt because of this. It was purely my refusal, or maybe laziness, to plug in a controller that I suffered from things like this. And the voice acting of Eve was really well done. However, I felt that the supporting characters could have used a little more emotion behind them. Except Lily, not you.
What? Really?
It is a South Korean made title, and I've had similar experiences with other voiceovers in games that have that kind of language barrier. With those two minor criticisms out of the way, let's talk about what this game does right, because this game does so many things right that other RPGs lack. Stellar Blade has without a doubt an awesome soundtrack. If you've ever watched a main character fight in an anime, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It has a blend of soft, lulling songs in the peaceful areas, to K-pop that's pumping you up, and then fast guitar during fighting the bosses. Even the pause menu music, I kept it almost the original volume. A lot of the songs you can choose in your camp are by an in-game character named Enya, and she's most likely based off the real-life Enya, which would make a lot of sense. Besides the soundtrack, the sound design is also very good. You can hear that they took their time while producing this game. Your sword clatters nicely, the enemies sound menacing, and the squishing of gore is pretty visceral overall. Paired with the sound, they obviously put a lot of resources into the visuals as well. The cutscene I mentioned earlier is just one of the many so beautifully done. I found myself taking in the fidelity of how much detail they put into their characters. Not like that. And speaking of fidelity, if you can play this game on high graphic settings, it is totally worth it. The world design is fantastic. Each of the locations feels unique. It's got cities, open deserts, underground future labs that gave Resident Evil vibes, and it blended post-apocalyptic grunge with sanitary future so very well. Another thing is the environment makes sense. Playing alongside the storyline, I never thought, why am I here? There's plenty of interaction with things as well, there's lots of puzzles to solve, crates to find that unlock rare things, and this is genuinely one of those games that rewards you for going off the beaten path. And warning, if you don't like fast traveling in RPGs, then this next part might not vibe with you. The game's fast travel system is extremely well thought out. All over the maps, there are little camps you can activate, and there's a couple types. You have full camps where you can upgrade your weapons, you can craft suits, spend skill points, rest, and buy items and save. And by the way, resting is how you save, and just a warning, doing so also resets all of the Natiba nearby. Then you have your light version of that camp where you lose the feature to craft certain items, and the last, which is just a fast travel phone. Additionally, completing certain tasks or objectives will also give you the ability to fast travel to turn in said quests. While running isn't exactly fast traveling, I do really appreciate the running mechanic in Stellar Blade. Not only do you have a jump, a double jump, and sprinting, but you also have sort of a super sprint when you run for more than 5 seconds, and this makes getting around in such large open environments super easy. The combat in Stellar Blade feels solid. With all of that move memorization that you're used to from other games, the thing I like about this game in particular, though, is that while it pays homage to those that came before it, it also puts on that anime flair that you'd expect. Of course, you can dodge and parry, but with this game, you get perfect dodges, and it slows time and outlines you in red, and the same thing for a perfect parry as well. And it doesn't just do that for effects either. Performing a perfect dodge allows you to reply with a few different but equally cinematic special moves learned through the skill tree. And what I like most of all is that this happens fluidly, and it doesn't feel like things are slowing down so much that the fights are scripted. And alongside those, you also have beta moves. These are special moves designed to deal damage in certain ways. And performing these moves can be done by charging your beta points either by landing hits or parrying. And the skill tree path you choose will decide on the best way to charge it up before landing that nasty final hit. And speaking about the skill tree, this game gives you a few ways to play. Though generally speaking, the skill points you receive are pretty generous, so I didn't personally overthink it too much, and it might matter a bit more if you're playing on the hardest difficulty because some of the enemies do have strengths in one area or another, and so playing a bit more tactically might be called for. And just for reference, I played on normal mode, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm not super adept at these types of games, and of course there is an easy/story mode for those of you who would prefer a more cinematic driven experience. Regardless, the skill tree allows you to level up and learn new moves, or apply more damage to a specific combo. And the combo system in this game makes me feel like I'm playing an old Street Fighter. You can chain things together like a perfect dodge, to a reflection, to a left, 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 right combo, and then a beta move. Sounds like a pretty sweet setup for a kill, right? Until you realize the boss you're fighting has barely dropped in health. And why didn't you do as much damage as you anticipated? Probably because you haven't upgraded anything yet, or you're wearing the wrong gear. Upgrading in this game is very intuitive, and once you've collected the right amount of resources, you can choose to build a new suit.
Oh lord.
Upgrade your exospine, weapon, health satchel, or maybe your drone. And upgrading your exospine allows you to pick where you want your specialty to be. Maybe you're a bit more aggressive and you want to increase your crit chance or total damage of combo attacks, or maybe you play a little more defensively, so you buff the protection type exospine, giving you reduced damage. Then you have your gear. You can further spec your build by the way you choose your gear, like choosing from the beta charge gear or the shield destruction gear for just 2 examples. Each of these come with a letter rating on how much it boosts your stats, and you can change them out depending on what type of enemy you're facing or what type of build you're going for. Okay, I'm going to keep this section really brief because currently with DLCs, New Game Plus and New Game Plus Plus, there's almost 130 suits to collect. For some people, this might be the sole reason that you bought the game, and I totally understand it. Truth be told, I actually found this game by searching for Gooner games that I could stream. Thanks, Reddit. And let's not pretend why this game caught our eye in the first place, and we don't shame on this channel. In all seriousness, this game has a ton of unique suit designs as well as collabs from some of your favorite games. This is where the game gets really interesting. So, as I mentioned, the Natiba came during the end of the Final War. Humankind was losing the fight against the androids that they created, which had revolted. And when all hope seemed lost, the Natiba showed up out of nowhere and destroyed the androids. With the androids gone, they then set their sights on the remaining humans. Originally thought to be an alien race, Eve later finds out that they were manufactured here on Earth through forced evolution gone wrong. This was all perpetrated purposely by the Mother Sphere, in an attempt to control the outcome of humankind. The amount of enemies and the biomes they spawn in is really diverse. There's over 60 unique types, and they're categorized into minions, warriors, elites, and alphas, plus distinct bosses like Gigas, Raven, and the Elder Natiba. Memorizing the moves of each of these is no joke. I died countless times due to a poorly timed parry or dodge, and they don't just do one attack and back off. Many of the Natiba will try to land multiple shots on you, all while advancing or throwing in attacks you can only dodge instead of parry. It really broke my button mashing brain the first few hours until I learned they will punish you for spamming parry. And some of the enemies have a shield mechanic that you need to break, or maybe land a certain amount of perfect parries in order to stagger them. There's a good balance of feeling like you're on top for a moment, landing all your hits correctly, and then being sent to the Shadow Realm by a lonely minion mob that got spawned in as an add to an elite.
Looks like you're going to the Shadow Realm, Jimbo.
So I'll leave you with this. If you're looking for a fleshed out game with tons and tons of content, then Stellar Blade is it. I'm going to give this game a solid 8.5 out of 10. My only hesitation is maybe wait for it to be on sale, as it is a full price game coming in at $60. And if you plan on picking up the DLC, it's around a total of $80. I hope you guys liked the video, and if you did, please consider dropping a follow or subscribing. I record all of the gameplay, write the scripts, and edit the video myself, so it would be a massive help to me. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next video.